Scott, we'll touch on the result in a minute, but obviously a really important night for the club. You must have been incredibly proud to put in that performance on such a night for the two games.
Yeah, obviously this is a big moment for our club just in general to continue to do these type of things, but more importantly, Scott Harris and Joe were family to us, and it's been quite the year of her being away and obviously passing away, and Scott dealing with that and still continuing to build this foundation, which is hugely important to the franchise, obviously to his family, and anything that we can do to represent that has been fantastic. I appreciate our guys playing as hard as they did tonight. It's a little weird of type of game to come into, but it's bigger than basketball, and you know, this is one of those ones that strikes me in the heart with my sister passing away from cancer, my mother passing away from cancer. It's a nasty disease, and anything to champion that is great. Shout out to Corey Homicide Williams, just the fact that he's dealing with it currently. So it's a big deal, and I couldn't be prouder than our entire organization of how we've progressed this foundation over the last 3 years.
4 wins in a row now. It must be nice to be in that kind of form heading into the game in a few weeks.
Yeah, I think we've won 5 of our last 6. We've created a little bit of momentum, and I think like anything else, for us, obviously the season's over today. Everyone will say the same thing: start anew, fresh start. Doesn't matter where you're placed. Everyone's got possibilities of obviously beating each other, and I think it's very true. But I think that we have done a good job, especially in this last fourth of the season, to just really zone in and zero in on what we needed to get done defensively and offensively, and couldn't be more prouder than our guys, again, to win 5 of our last 6, 16 wins this year in a league that's been really, really tough to deal with night in and night out with how good the teams are, and again, really proud of our 3rd year in a row of having a winning season.
Talked a lot about inconsistencies during the middle half of the year. Do you feel like a lot of those have been ironed out now in these last 4 weeks?
Well, I think that we've addressed them the best we could during the middle of the season, and our guys continue to come back and do the work and never drop their head, and we're really just involved in the process of trying to get better. And those things should probably creep back in. You just never know, but I think that we're moving in the right direction in some of those areas, and everything's going to get ramped up when we go into the playoffs and the intensity and all that stuff. So we'll continue to build towards what we've been doing these last few weeks.
Must have been incredibly pleased with that second quarter dominance. I think 5 from 21 from the field and 0 for 7 for the entire first half. How pleasing was that second quarter to get on top of 80?
Yeah, I think that we improved during the course of the game, especially in the second and third quarter. We did some good things in there that helped us along the way to build some of the lead. And again, it's one of those things where the game was okay. I'm not really overly concerned about the game one way or another, and the fact that I'd rather focus on Scott and his family, and our guys are doing a wonderful job of just playing through the game, trying to do what we do and come out with a win.
The guy next to you was incredible tonight, along with Jack McVeigh. Just on Jack, I guess we've talked a lot in the last few weeks about his improvement, but his ability to compete and continue to go out there and do it game after game. It seems like he's playing with a real confidence he's found this year.
Yeah, I think it goes to him. He's morphed into something over these last 2 or 3 years and continues to come back just a little bit better than he was the year before. And this year, he was very much about his fitness and his body and getting that right. And he loves obviously to hoop and play. And I think our environment creates that for a lot of players. And again, I go back to Milt last year. I don't think it was accidental that he had one of his best seasons probably in his career with us, with his family being in market, living in Tasmania, our structure of how we go about things. So Jack's improvement has been fantastic. Magnay's improvement has been fantastic, and those are the little things that we're looking for as we progress into the playoffs.
Mag's worked tonight, obviously match up against Alex Sarah a little bit, and then that work in the second quarter. I think there was 2 big blocks in there and a lot of work on the offensive rebound. Just his, I guess, impact in the team is going to be huge heading into the playoffs. Yeah,
he continues to work really hard with our coaches, especially in our morning sessions. His post game and stuff has really improved around the rim and is quite powerful down there to go and score, and has got more confidence in that area. And obviously his shot blocking is hugely important, and his impact just defensively and his toughness. So it gives him a target, gives JC a target in pick and roll, and they have him and Marcus, who are slightly different, but both capable of getting above the rim and catching balls that these guys are throwing to him is really, really good.
I feel like the job's not done, bigger things to throw now, but do you spend some time tonight to take a step back and look at what you've been able to achieve? 3 years in the competition, 3 playoff series now. You must be incredibly proud of what this club and this group have been able to achieve.
Yeah, I mean, and not my wildest dreams that you think you get an expansion team and we've done what we've done. I just don't think it's probably happened anywhere in sports in Australia where we've had the success we've had in 3 years, but more importantly, the culture and the foundation of representing an entire state is just a unique thing down here. And these fans really, really love this team, and we love them. And we continue to build that relationship, defend the island for them. And again, I can't be more prouder than I am with the group and just the success. And again, you judge us for 28 games, which is you're right to do that. But I see them for another 4 or 5 months of doing all the other things in the market, in the state, doing their promos, how hard they practice. Those things are the ones that really excite me about how good we have our guys doing the right things.
4 in a row now, the boys must take a lot of confidence given the form you're in heading into the playoff series.
Yeah, I think that's what we talked about leading into the last couple of games, is keeping the momentum going into the playoff series. So us playing well, everybody's up and about. That's all you can ask for at this time of the year.
Has there been something in particular that's switched in the last maybe month or two within the team, or is it just a case of you've been in games and you've been able to work things out a little bit more and you've been able to get that momentum in the group?
Yeah, like you said, I think working things out through games and the coaches changing things up and talking to us on the floor and us kind of figuring things out helped us with our confidence and finishing games, really. We've been winning. That's what helps things out.
And someone that's played now with Jack for 2 years, how impressed with you have you been with his improvement this year, given he's obviously taken on the vice captaincy, but to come out and be as consistent as he has all year, you must be incredibly pleased to play with a guy like that.
Yeah, I appreciate it. That's where I get most of my assists from. So as long as he's getting the buckets that he's getting and being aggressive, it makes our team much better. And he's stepped up defensively also. That's what we kind of criticized him about. So he's been working on that end too. And now we got to get him a rebound a little bit more.
How helpful is it to have guys like Jack and Will and the rest of the guys in good form? It obviously gives you a boost and helps you be able to go out and make the shots and make the plays that you need to make.
It's very important. Just them knowing the system and being here for these last 3 years since the start and bringing guys along. I think that's the most important attribute that they bring. And all the rest of the things on the court is day-to-day life for them. That's easy for them. So them just being leaders, that's what really helps us.
Anyone on Zoom? Craig, Chris?
Yeah, I'll jump in. Milton, just following on from what Scott was talking about with the connection this club has with the whole Tasmanian community. It's something remarkably special. Have you ever been part of anything even close to this anywhere in your career before?
Nah, not at all. Just being kind of separated from the rest of Australia, you get to see it down here, how the people get around each other and how family-oriented it is here, and going to all the promos and the kids loving basketball, and even the older people telling you that they just started watching basketball 3 years ago and seeing how excited they get coming to the games. I don't think it's like that anywhere else in the world.
What does a night like this mean for the playing group? We see what it means to Scott and to the whole organisation, but for the playing group, do you get an extra sense of responsibility to perform on a night like this?
Yeah, of course. Once you hear people's stories and see what they've been going through and the battles that they have in their daily life, it hits home. I know for me it hit home. My dad passed away from cancer this year, so for me it was something special to go out here and play tonight for the Harris family. And I think the guys, it was the same, just them coming in, talking to us. And we had a woman come in, 2-3 days ago?
2 days ago, yeah.
Yeah, and she told us her story, so things like that is what we play the game for. If we could change someone's life or give them a different perspective and just make them happy, we love to do it.
No, absolutely, well said. On a basketball front, you've got momentum, you're really well placed to now make a run at it. Are you confident this team can make a run for the championship, Milton?
Yeah, we've been confident when we put the team together, so I don't think it's changed all year, even with the ups and downs of the year. Now it's just being focused enough to do it and keeping the guys uplifted and knowing that we can do it.
Scott, what do you do over the next couple of weeks before your next game? How do you get the balance right, I guess, between giving the guys a bit of a break, putting some work into them, but also keeping the competitive juices flowing? How do you get that balance right before your next game?
Yeah, obviously the NBL banquet MVP dinner is on Monday, so a lot of us will be traveling on Monday and Tuesday to take care of that. So we'll have 3 days off, and then we'll get back to work. And we have our 7 or 8 days planned out to our next game. our guys will start back in slowly and just get back into rhythm after a few days off, and hopefully some of their little bumps and bruises start to heal too, which will be great. But we'll get back to business as we always do, and we have basically a normal week scheduled for us about getting ready for this game. So once we get back from this little break, we're just back to business as usual, and we'll slowly get involved in our routine, and it should be relatively easy. I'm actually happy we're playing so soon. Melbourne and Perth, they're probably going to wait almost 3 weeks to play, which is kind of ridiculous, really, at the end of the day. And I think as a player, especially as a coach, it's good for these guys to play, get a little rest, and start to play and get back into rhythm, and not take too much time off. So I think there's a fine line, but we'll be ready to go.
Without putting you on the spot, on Monday night, is there any guy from your team that jumps out at you that you would expect to come away with an award of some sort?
Let me speak on that one. If Mags does not get Defensive Player of the Year, it's a joke. So you can make that a headline or however you want to put it. If he don't get Defensive Player of the Year, it's a joke.
I'll put him right in there for 6 men too.
Yeah, both.
Yeah, obviously, for me, we don't talk about that internally and the accolades of what we do, and you don't hear me pumping guys up during the course of the season because I believe in them 100%, and I don't need to talk about them in some other way that is trying to sway someone's opinion of them. But obviously, Milt, JC, Jack McVeigh, and Magne, I would be surprised if something doesn't transpire with some kind of awards in that group. I think Milt is done it in so many different ways this year, without scoring, with scoring. JC's came in and just done a wonderful job for us of providing some extra punch. The growth of Jack McVeigh is undeniable, and then to have the big beast back, getting up and down the floor, those 4 guys, I'd be shocked. And then you got Shawnee Mack, who's lingering in the wings as the most improved, or whatever you want to say, 6th man. I'm very, very proud of those guys. I'm very, very proud of my staff and the work they've done with these guys. And so I hope they walk away with some awards. They definitely deserve it. But if they don't, we'll be ready for our next game. And I know some of our guys will have some chips on their shoulder to go out and prove what they're about.
Yeah, well said. Thank you very much, guys.
Thanks, Chris. We're good?
Don Craig?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
Yep. Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
See y'all. Have a good evening. It's already late, huh?